And he walks with me and he talks with me.
A Tuesday afternoon in April, and a man they call Snoopy is putting in some hours. Snoopy Botten has made it his job to entertain the masses, folks shuffling from office to office along Nicollet Mall. He doesn't take requests.
He was doing a classic.
But he does take donations.
Music is something that's universal. Everybody can appreciate music.
And no one appreciates music more than Snoopy. But born with cerebral palsy, he can never play an instrument. Or can he?
Dear Lord, my righteous Lee.
Snoopy's condition makes it hard for people to understand him when he talks. So this device, called a Liberator, speaks for him.
Is my CD on the way?
Today he's on talking to this man, Barry Romick, one of the people who invented this device.
I got an order just last night by email.
The two are close friends because they learn from each other.
When I talk about him to audiences, I refer to him as the world authority on singing with synthetic speech.
Wherever you go.
That's right, they developed this device with a speaking voice. Snoopy taught it to sing. The developers had no idea it could even do that.
200, ever you go.
Now, Snoopy is an ambassador for this technology, doing demonstrations, even singing the national anthem at a Twins game a couple years ago.
And the home of the brave.
And he does more than just program songs into his communication device. He writes them, too.
And it seems that as we go here day by day, it's becoming more exciting.
On this day, Snoopy and Mike Boss are nearing the end of their first CD, Religious Songs by Snoopy.
Let's do a level check, too.
Enhanced by Boss.
I am eternally changed.
The message behind the music and the heart behind the music really comes out, even though it's a computerized voice.
He's taken what life has given him and made music with it. You might think it would be a great source of pride for Snoopy, which it is, but it's also a great source of frustration.
If you make any, you lose everything. So like if the Pretsky Romick Company or anyone paid me for my work, I would not be able to have an aid or my chair fixed, or anything that is paid for right now.
For all he's done helping to advance this piece of equipment that helps thousands of people programming and writing music, Snoopy cannot make a profit off of any of it.
The bottom line problem is that they lose health care benefits.
Joanne Irbies at United Cerebral Palsy says she and many others are working to change the laws.
There's a talent out there with people with disabilities. They can be employed, they should be employed, but they shouldn't have to lose all the benefits.
Because to make up for all the benefits, like personal attendance, wheelchair services, Snoopy would have to make a very good living.
When my will becomes enthroned in your love.
Which brings us back to Nicollet Mall, and the reason Snoopy is here playing his music. It's about the he can pay for new equipment and feed his passion for song.
Let it be, dear Lord, let it be.
That was first year in 1904.
There is a kind of release and regret in every goodbye.
My family started in 1904 here on this spot in the grocery and meat business.
95 years on the same corner in St. Paul.
Just 95 years.
95 years?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Watch my lips, 95 years. And I had lots of pictures on the wall. They're all gone now.
All gone except the spirit of what was Pilneys Market.
In fact, we're closed.
And for Lou Pilney, the end of a family career.
Today is the last 60 years culmination of being in the same place, doing the same thing for almost 60 years.
6 days a week for 60 years.
This is how we used to bring the inventory up in the old days and take it down.
Lou and his family ran a store that treated St. Paul to a special service.
Morning, Pilneys.
Delivering the best of the best when no one else would.
Yes, sir. I have a list of 95 customers that I have sent to 2 other grocers in hopes that they will take care of them.
Not much left on the shelves now.
Jell-O, muffin mixes, and puddings.
And what is left going to charity.
Well, those are the needy. Those are the needy. People that can use it. The end.
The end, huh?
Now today is the last day.
Thank you. Adios. It's come to a point now at 68 years of age where I want to take some time off, spend it at the lake with my grandchildren, with my family. Today is the last day. Good thing you got here. Yep, we locked the door, and I'm going to go home. This is it.
And so, without a backward glance,
tough to do, but it had to be done.
Gail Plawacki, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
Two hearts to do for you. For people with Parkinson's, time is a thief, slowly taking away their ability to speak and express themselves. But now,
there you go.
Some 4-legged therapists are helping patients like Adrian retrieve those abilities.
Practice your strong voice.
It's animal-assisted therapy at Struthers Parkinson Center, where dogs help people learn how to speak.
And that's nice to see that happening, and it happened if the dogs hadn't been there to help us.
Dogs like Thor help by being specially trained to respond to the weak voices of Parkinson's patients.
Yes.
And with a little help from his trainer, Carol,
Good job.
he shows Adrian he is still understood.
And when you have that connection, I will see people try harder for the dogs, whether it's because they're having fun or whether it's to make the dogs look good.
So she's trying awfully hard for you.
In a half-hour session, this patient tells the dog to lie down, roll over,
Yes.
and even give him 5.
Yes.
And that's not all he gets.
If the client can't do something, the dogs don't care. They still love, they still try.
And that in itself speaks volumes. Chris Patro, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
Even a few inches of water can be dangerous. Channel 5's Chris Patro is live at Lake Como in St. Paul with some safety tips that we could all use.
Now, Colleen, those safety tips don't just have to do with big bodies of water like here at Lake Como, but with bodies of water you may not even think of. As you look out here on the water, think of what you may have in your own backyard, such as hot tubs, small creeks, or some of those landscaping ponds. All warrant special caution. Now, as with any kind of water, you got to watch your kids at all times. If you're a grown-up, have a buddy. Make sure you talk safety before you go near the water. Daycare provider Lauren Weber makes sure her kids know the rules before they play in the water.
No, they're not allowed in when I'm not out here, and they're very good about that.
And as soon as you're done with the pool, safety experts say drain it completely. That's not so easy if you've got a creek running through your property. Water Patrol Mike Benson warns parents that drowning is not the only danger.
Safety issue of the person falling and hitting their head.
And if you live in a development with man-made ponds, he says make sure you have safety equipment ready.
Personal flotation device, a rope, a pole, something that, you know, they'd be able to pull somebody, like pull somebody out of the water with.
Now, with regards to these water hazards that may also be in your backyard, some cities have ordinances that you have to put up a fence around any body of water that's 2 feet deep or deeper. We checked with Edina today where that little boy drowned over the weekend. They do have such a city ordinance that covers hot tubs, whirlpools, any kind of landscaping pond kits that you can buy at like Menards or Home Depot. Make sure you check with your city. They require a 4-foot-high fence around them, and even if your city doesn't require it, it's often better to be safe than sorry and protect those from little children in your neighborhood. Colleen.
All right, thank you, Chris, for that advice.
On a sun-kissed morning, see how Albania got its name. In English, it means Eagle's Country. More than 5,000 miles from Minnesota, it's in southeastern Europe along the Adriatic Sea. The landscape is dotted with hills and mountains and patchwork prairie. But despite its beauty, people must struggle to survive. A daily struggle that slaps the Mayo Clinic team in the face the moment they set foot in Albania. In Renas Airport, they witness a tearful family reunion. The local police don't seem to care. But amid the chaos, a good sign. ARC, the Minneapolis-based American Refugee Committee, has organized the Mayo team's trip. Medical supplies and luggage loaded, the 5 doctors, 2 nurses, and 1 administrator head out into the unknown.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome officially to Albania.
Albania, the poorest country in Europe. There are no parks or playgrounds, so children play in alleys. Drug trafficking is on the rise. Police are everywhere. But for all their problems, Albanians opened their arms to a people even more troubled, the Kosovar refugees.
They consider them as brothers, so that's why they think that they try to give whatever they could, to them.
Albania took 500,000 refugees into a country the size of Maryland. The team took NATO choppers at the crumbling roads. From the air, pulmonologist Dr. Dave Williams sees the Austrian military and refugee camps. The team will work here and also at Albanian hospitals a few miles away in Shkodra.
I didn't anticipate in a city this size roads this poor, frankly.
The roads are only the beginning. People here cannot find work. Buildings are falling apart, including the city's hospitals.
It needs work. It needs work.
The team will give hands-on care as they can and plan how Mayo can best help in the future.
Right there.
Some 400,000 people use this medical system. Since the war, refugees place more demands on the overburdened system. There are 650 beds. A hospital this size in America would have a budget of $100 million. Here in Shkodra, it's a mere $2 million.
Dangerous.
The wiring is slapped together. The day we visited, the hospital had no electricity or running water.
I think they're doing the best they can with what they have to work with.
Sir Maureen French has never seen an OR quite like this. Some equipment dates back to the 1920s.
Never.
Dr. Williams and nurse Linda Sorensen see all kinds of cases. This Albanian woman has tuberculosis.
Where's my interpreter?
But now, doctors here must divide their attention between cases like hers and refugees. Serbs forced this Kosovar from his village.
He has had in his house 2 dogs, and the Serbs burned the house and killed the dogs.
Neighbors helped him.
Listen, hear me.
They walked through the mountains for days.
Therapy begins with you showing interest. You've done something. You've shown interest to come and feel and touch, put your hands on, encourage, and that's what happened here. That's fun. That's when it's really fun to be a doctor. Ah, flowers, yes. Yeah. You take care.
Back in the Austrian refugee camp, you can see how NATO is making a difference.
People who camp are very in security.
The Red Cross camp is well organized and supported by a $71 million Army field hospital. It's home to 3,000 refugees. Without NATO, Albania would have been burdened even more.
Everything burned, everything.
When the Serbs began shelling, this man led his family out of Kosovo.
So he has walked with all his family by foot for 20 hours.
Carrying one child in his arms, the other small child walking, and only a bag of food. They know that their house has been burned, but they want to go back.
So he says that I must go back because it's my homeland, and homeland is dear for all. But the problem is that I don't know where can I stay.
Pretty stirring. It's hard to think that they'll be able to go back and put away the death and the memories for a long time.
But their drive to return is undeniable. Whether they have lost their home and all their belongings,
These are the houses. All destroyed, all burned. Guys told her.
Or something much more dear.
His father has been a soldier to KLA, and the Serbs has killed him. Has been killed.
Leaving her mother to raise her and 8 brothers and sisters. Still, she wants to go home to Kosovo.
And you know her name? No. In American, it's translated hope. Hope, yes.
And it's hope that these American doctors can see in the children's smiles, hear in their laughter.
I find it amazing that there is so much hope. Don't you?
In a people who have lost everything and still show us all how the human spirit survives. In Albania, Lindsay Paulo, Channel 5 Eyewitness News. More than 5,000 miles from Minnesota, Albania seems like worlds away. Europe's poorest country has become home to Kosovars, forced from their country. At its peak, Albania took in nearly 500,000 refugees, more than any other nation.
They feel that they are Albanians and they have suffered a lot. And hospitality is one of the best characteristics of Albanians.
200,000 refugees live with Albanian host families. The rest live in camps. We went with a team of doctors and nurses from a clinic in Rochester as they visited some of those camps. Since April, 2,300 Kosovars called this old abandoned tobacco factory home.
We are going to the headquarters of the Northwest Medical Team.
Hundreds of non-governmental organizations, or NGOs, are working with refugees in Albania.
Hyperventilation syndrome.
At this camp's health clinic, relief workers see 150 patients a day.
Not in the hospital, but outside.
This child has meningitis. His mother has to carry him. She doesn't have a stroller.
And something like a stroller is so very, very valuable to them. You know, like, I mean, it's such a need, and they don't have it.
It's the little things that would mean so much. This woman cooks peppers for 15 people.
It's hard because we have to pick the water, and also because we do not have enough utensils.
What they do have is hope and a smile, even for a stranger, a doctor from a faraway
Hello, Nita. We can play in all this turmoil.
Everywhere the Mayo team turns, there are striking realities.
I'm looking forward to see my house. I'm looking forward to see my friends because I miss them a lot.
This young girl shows us how she's carefully packed her clothing for the trip home. Families pool their money to rent trucks for the trip. In this camp, several hundred refugees are boarding trucks to Kosovo every day. It's home. They want to go back, but many don't know what they'll find when they get there.
All their houses are burned.
This group of college students has sent a scout first.
Okay to take your picture?
Still, they return by the thousands.
Thank you.
Thank you.
By the time we got to this camp in Kavahe, it was already empty. The last refugees boarded buses the night before. But many refugees won't have that choice.
We don't envisage that all the refugees will leave Albania.
The sick, the elderly, and those who can't afford a ride back to Kosovo will stay. Nobody knows yet how many there will be. But one relief agency, Minneapolis-based American Refugee Committee, or ARC, will be here for them, even though other agencies are leaving.
NGOs are leaving by the day here. ARC is committed to working in Albania. There are refugees here, and there will be refugees here for a long time.
In a country with a crumbling economy and infrastructure. Still, Albanians have welcomed the Kosovars into their own forgotten country. And now, the world is taking notice.
The populace here and the long term for Albania is looking better now. in that the international community and the press at large has seen the state of this country and what is required here. So money is coming into Albania, but not quickly enough to make an immediate impact. It's going to be a long-term process.
This is right hip.
The Mayo Clinic will help with medical knowledge and training. Minnesotans have already helped, giving $1.5 million in aid through ARC. But as the Mayo team has seen, there's much more to be done to repair a country and help an entire people recover.
You have lots of friends around you, Nita, and they wish the best for you.
In Albania, Lindsay Paulo, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.